Okay. Hi, my name is Rain, and I did an internship at the George Lab in the University of California, San Diego, and it was on neuroscience, which was really cool. So in my presentation, I'll be doing a little introduction, what I did in the lab, and then what we did in San Diego. So a little bit about me. Again, my name is Rain Icansiano. I attend Montrose High School, so I'm from Montrose. Would have guessed. What I did over the summer, I took a pinhead internship, which was so great. Not only did I take the internship for the internship, but I also took it for lab experience, which was really great. So the George Lab, it's a rat lab. Yeah, pretty cool. Love my rats. Which the George Lab, they test addiction and drug use and alcohol use, and the main drugs I got to deal with were cocaine and oxycodone. So in the lab, since it was a live rat lab, there were two parts of it, I guess. There was the behavioral side and the molecular side. So the first thing I did was called Genome-Wide Association Study, or GWAS, and it's used for addiction-like behaviors with cocaine and oxycodone. So we test the rats, put them in these little chambers. They get themselves a little high on drugs, and then we see if their addiction has to do anything with their genes. Similarly, I also did ethanol vapor self-administration, EVSA. Ethanol is an alcohol, and we used they self-administered active ethanol self-intake, which will be used to study alcohol use disorder. The cool thing about this was that these were in the pilot stages. It wasn't an actual lab that the George Lab does. It's still in the works, which was really cool, and I got to work with an undergrad on that one. Two more behavioral tests I got to do, Von Frey and tail immersion. So Von Frey is a mechanical sensitivity test, and what they do is they have a little needle, and they poke the rat's paw until the rat retracts, and then that's what we measure. And then similar to that, we do tail immersion. We roll the burrito. We burrito the rat in towel. It's really funny. They kind of want to run out, but it's fine. It's a pain sensitivity test, and we stick their little tails in water, and then we wait until their tail goes up, and that's what we measure. It's really fun. Unfortunately, all these have to go to a dissection, which was really sad, but it was really interesting to be in the room. There were two different types of dissections we did. The first one was called flash frozen dissections, which once we put the rat to sleep, we cut them open, took their brain out, and we put it on dry ice to freeze it. And then the other type of dissection we did was once the rat was put to sleep, we took out all of its blood and ran it through PFA, making it really stiff. Great. Now we're on the molecular side of rat testing. So one thing I did was called brain clearing, and it's a step to study the brain in 3D. It gets rid of everything except FOSS expression. So, as you can, on this side, this is the normal brain, like right as it's taken out of the rat. And then on this side, you can see that it's a lot clearer. It's just the tissue, so you can't, like all the muscle is gone. And that's what brain clearing is. Okay, another thing I got to do was witness a stereotaxic brain surgery. So my mentor, she was doing a project, and she took a rat and injected it with a virus. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Now this was my main baby, immunohistochemistry. Oh, pretty fancy. And IHC, it's a staining and imaging process that identifies target antigens, and it confirms viral expression. So there's 4 parts to immunohistochemistry. I got to slice the brains with a cryostat, then I got to plate them, and then stain them, and then image them. And my favorite part was the cryostat. I just got to slice that brain. That was really fun. Okay, so another thing I got to experience, this was my first week here. I got to experience their Judd Symposium, which happens every year. That was really cool. A lot of it went over my head, though, because they were really long words that I didn't understand, but it's okay. We digress. Okay, in San Diego, this was really fun. I got to live in an Airbnb with 4 other Pinterns. Heh, that's us. That's our backyard view. literally gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I stayed with Shiloh, Lana, Azari, and Maya, and our host mom Jenny was also there staying with us. Her dog Patias is right there. Love him. And then obviously we went to the beach a lot. This is us in the house, and we did a bunch of car rides. Lana was our chauffeur. Thank you, Lana, for giving us your car this summer. It's really great. My advice for future Pinterns, don't be afraid. Try everything you want, do everything you can, and ask questions. There were a lot of things that I didn't know because we didn't talk about them in school, and my mentors were so nice. They give you everything you need. And then my main piece of advice is be comfortable being uncomfortable. You're in a new area, you're with different people that you don't work with. It's really important that you're trying to interact and live life, I guess. And thank you to the George Lab and Pinhead and Sarah for making this possible.